Hello, I'm Vandana Gupta and I represent Saptarishis Astrology in discussion with Justice Santana Kapoor. For an introduction of Justice Kapoor, he's been associated with ICAS, which is the Indian Council of Astrological Studies, since 1986. So that's almost 3 decades of association. And he was nominated as the president of ICAS by Dr. B.V. Raman in 1998. And he tells a very interesting story about the fact that Dr. Raman nominated him as president without his knowledge. And he got to know about his nomination through a friend who called him up to tell him that his nomination had appeared in one of the leading national English dailies of India, which is the Hindu. He served as the chairperson of the international wing of ICAS till 2012, and he's currently a member of the managing committee of ICAS. In terms of his titles in Jyotish, Justice Kapoor has earned the titles of Jyotish Vachaspati, Jyotish Bhushan and Jyotish Pracharya. He's also been conferred the title of Honoris Causa by Lal Bahadur Shastri Vidyapeeth. Honoris Causa is equivalent to D.Litt or a PhD in astrology. And he tells us that he's the second person after Dr. B.V. Raman who's been conferred the title of Honoris Causa in astrology. As for his professional experience, Justice Kapoor has served as the judge of the Delhi High Court up till 2003, that's up till his retirement. He's also served as a member of the National Consumer Disputes and Redressal Commission, and he's currently serving as a member of the National Law Commission. And with that, let's begin our discussion with Justice Shankarnath Kapoor. Today we are here with Shri Shankarnath Kapoor Sahib, and he's going to talk about marriage and children in astrology. So, sir, to begin with, what are the parameters that determine whether a marriage is going to be successful or not?
The first thing to be seen is whether there is propensity of marriage or probability of marriage, or there is no probability of marriage. Then we have to see the karkas, natural karkas, the natural zodiac, as well as in the zodiac of the person concerned. The moment we consider the natural zodiac, we may nearer to not exactly perfection, but nearer to perfection.
Okay.
And say, in case the Jaimini is the third sign of third bhava. According to Lal Kitab as well as Nadi, some consider the natural zodiac. I would insist that we should consider natural zodiac as well as the functional zodiac of a person.
Okay.
When we consider natural zodiac, then just see, Kantrikon consists of Gemini, Libra and Kumbh. Just think it from another point. Third house indicates father-in-law. 7th house indicates spouse. And 11th house indicates children from the point of view of spouse, and gains from the point of view of the husband.
Right.
Or the another way of it, that in case you consider 5th house, then 11th house is the spouse of the 5th house. So that is the creation of lineal, lineal descendants. In case children, then they should be married. In case they are married, then there would be further children. So Banshavali ke liye everything. There should be 11th house. If we see,
considering conservative traditions like we have in India, but of course the children, there are countries where children are born outside of marriage as well.
That is altogether different thing.
Yes.
The question is, in India also, there are 8 kinds of marriages, including Rakshas Vivah, Gandharva Vivah. In the musicians and artists, there are numerous marriages which can be considered as Gandharva Vivah.
Yes.
And among the Rakshasas are the the downtrodden, it is not very unusual to have a Rakshas Vivah. It's starting from the rape to marriage. So we will consider all kinds of relationships. Marital, which leads to the birth of a child,
Yes.
as marriage. So we will have to take a definitely liberal interpretation of marriage.
Okay.
Then the question is functional. If third house indicates is the first sign of Kamtragon. Seventh is the spouse. 11th is happiness or child for the spouse. We will have to consider one from one point of view. In a male-dominated society, everything is centered around, including astrology, is centered around male.
Yes.
So, who bears a child?
Always the woman.
If she bears, then we will have to consider her child without insisting on my child.
Okay.
So this has to be taken care of. Then, according to tradition, Venus is Karak for marriage for males. Mars and Jupiter are said to be Karak for female. If we take into consideration Mars and Jupiter and Venus, their strength and weakness may show some relationship which may be helpful. Now there is another addition. Supposing they are debilitated, what will happen to the marriage? If Mars is debilitated in case of female, there will be some gynecological problem. If, say, Jupiter is not favorable, then the husband may not be capable of having adequate number of semen to give birth to a child. Just
Jupiter in a woman's chart.
Yes.
Yes.
So we will have to take into consideration these factors along with some other factors. What is the second house? Now, just see first. What is the nakshatra, Lagna nakshatra?
Okay.
Lagna nakshatra is just, say, not favorable for marriage.
Okay.
Then marriage may take place. Marriage may take place but may not be successful. Just considering in the morning today, something very specific. And in case the Lagna is in Tikshna Nakshatra, namely Aridra, Ashlesha, Jyeshtha and Moon. This has got a debilitating effect on marriage, I think. I have just taken 25 charts from Raghunath Trivedi's book, purposely, so that I may not be saying that it is my record. And out of 25 charts, in 22 cases, either the 11th Lord or the 7th Lord has been found in these nakshatras, where the marriage failed.
In Tikshna Nakshatras.
Yes, in Tikshna Nakshatras.
Okay.
So if that is one thing, one may consider it, but there is another if, and very big if. And that big if is, if the marriage is destined with that very particular person, you cannot avoid it. but that is Rinanubandan. Rinanubandan with an undesirable person. Or one himself is undesirable person.
Yes.
What happens in marriage and generally phase? And in one case, the couple had not seen each other even for a moment
After marriage.
after marriage. This aspect has not been considered. But somehow or the other it struck to me that these nakshatras may create problem. But I never thought that the problem shall be so great and so damaging that it will damage them whole life. In one case, a girl forced herself on the boy. They have got all kinds of relationships. She became pregnant, and in those circumstances, the boy was forced to marry. So just see this circumstance. But the more I read, more I feel what a wonderful idea was there in the mind of divine design. That the nakshatras have got such a damaging effect.
And this is in Tikshan
Yes.
Nakshatra.
Nakshatras.
Okay.
Either Lagna or seventh lord or Karkas.
Or Karkas.
Yes.
Okay.
Particularly Saturn. I have seen in Jupiter also.
Saturn also.
Saturn. Seventh lord.
Seventh Lord.
Seventh lord. And another thing is I have found that in case Saturn and Mars relationship is just there in front of each other, and one of them is aspecting seventh, then there is a problem. More I read, more I am confirmed that this is one area which must be looked into. Then
So with Saturn and Mars, you're saying either one of them, if they're aspecting seventh house.
either one of them will not be sufficient. In case both see, both are, supposing Mars is aspecting Saturn, and one of them is retrograde, then it is very harmful.
Okay.
But in case they are just direct and one of them is seeing, then it is damaging but not to that extent.
Okay.
So there is a degree of difference between the two. So this aspect has to be seen. One, the question again is whether the marriage shall take place. Personally speaking, I find that in case three malefics simultaneously aspect the Karak of marriage Venus, seventh house, seventh lord particularly, and in the case women Mars and Jupiter, then the chances are reduced by and by. More layers of afflictions, it will become the chances.
So by malefics you mean both functional malefics and
Yes.
natural malefics?
The functional as well as malefic. The same principle will apply as applies in Dasha. A planet which is third lord and 12th lord is Keval Papi, it is harmful. If a planet is 8th lord and 11th lord, it is harmful. It may be Jupiter, it may be Mercury, but it is harmful. If it is 5th lord and 8th lord, then it is Dushit Trikonesh. It may not harm to that extent, for it is Trikonesh also. But in case both the houses belong to malefic placements, then they are much more harmful.
Right.
This aspect has to be considered either in Dasha or in these kinds of things. Then
Should we? Are there any prominent examples that you can recall of where Lagna Lord or seventh Lord has been in Tishan Nakshatra and it has affected marriage?
let's see. Let's see. I read this illustration 23.
Okay, this is volume 1, Mridula Trivedi's book, illustration 2.3, right?
3.
It says
4 कर रही है. 3
horoscope number 3.
Yes,
Horoscope number 3.
Let's see. So what is the seventh lord?
Saturn.
And just see, the Saturn is in Jyeshtha too.
Okay.
And it appears that except Aridra, all the 3 nakshatras of Mercury are in Sanghar Nakshatra. And in case it is in 3rd or 4th, Navansha,
Yes.
then it becomes Vritansha.
Yes.
And then it is much more harmful.
Much more harmful. And it is the debilitation lord of Venus as well, main karak of marriage.
Then in case of this chart number 4, Jupiter is the Karak.
Okay, chart number 4, 7th lord is Mercury.
Jupiter is Karak.
Sorry, I'm on 5th chart. Okay.
Jupiter is Karak for Jupiter is Lagna Lord.
Okay.
And it is in Jyeshtha, Moola.
Okay.
Then see chart number 6.
Chart number 6, page 69.
69.
Yes.
It is in Jyeshtha.
Which lord? Lagan lord or 7th lord? Sun?
Jupiter, just see Jupiter.
Acha, Jupiter as the karak. Is in Jyeshtha.
This is 2nd lord also. Then see chart number 6.
Yes, this is chart number 6.
There is chart number 6. Then come to chart number 7.
Okay. It seems to be a sequence.
Just see. Mars is in Gemini.
In Ardra.
Aridra 4. Jupiter in Cancer in Ashvisha 2.
Yes.
Then there are so many instances, not one.
Yes.
There are 25 in all. In my notes.
Out of 25, you're saying 22 charts.
22 charts marriage is spoiled just within months. And marriage forced upon.
And
Really?
forced upon and
What?
spoiled.
Yes, it's spoiled.
Yes.
That is.
So now tell us about how to test emotional compatibility in a chart. Should we look at only moon, or should we also look at the sun? Should we look at feminine and masculine signs? What are some of the other parameters we should be looking at?
There are many parameters. In any case, the prime consideration should relate to moon. And then next comes the sun. So far as the moon is concerned, it is said that they should not be in 6th and 8th position. 2nd and 12th they should be avoided. And this is this is apparently what is being said. But would it not be appropriate in case we consider that the moon should not be in the nakshatra of Vipat or Pratyarik or Nidhan nakshatra, counted from the nakshatra of
The partner.
Each other.
Each other.
If that is there, then it will be reflected. In behavior it will reflect it. It may not apparent, it may not be noticed for some time, but after it may be apparent. Then another thing I have already told, that the problem about Tikshna Nakshatras. But there are some Nakshatras which are favored for these spouses. They are, in case Venus, Moon and Jupiter are in these nakshatras, they will help in so far emotional compatibility is concerned. For Jupiter would have a sobering effect. Venus will help them enjoy and be social. So for the Moon is concerned, that would relate to the mood. In case Moon and Venus both are have positive influence on each other, along with the sobering effect of Jupiter, it may lead to a successful marriage. And in that case, there are 4 nakshatras which are Dhruv nakshatras. They are Rohini, 3 Uttaras, Uttar Falguni, Uttarashadha and Uttar Bhadrapada. They are Sthir nakshatra. They give Sthir buddhi and positive dimension in the mental makeup of a person. Then the other nakshatras, which may be helpful.
So you're recommending Moon to be in Dhruv nakshatras?
It would be better.
Better, okay.
It would be better. For progress it would be better.
Right.
For both.
Right.
But it is not always possible to have these, the husband and wife should to be in the same nakshatra. So then the next best. What would be next best? It has been said that there should not be tattva viparya, a conflicting element.
Okay.
This is one side. But one should note that the attraction is between opposite.
Yes.
So it is a very, very sensitive issue, what to choose and what not to choose. Then it becomes any planet, if it is influenced by the benefics, functional benefits.
Right.
Not the
Natural benefits.
not the benefic, natural benefic, but functional benefit. Then it helps a person in just adjusting the things. Supposing I'm unhappy with my wife for certain reason, and if my father says, no bete aisa hota hai, so it has a sobering effect. So I may not go to the extreme. And in case I don't go to the extreme, the things are under control. So this sobering effect has to be seen. And sobering effect may come from either the 5th house or the 9th lord.
Okay.
5th lord or 9th lord.
Yes.
The 11th lord indicates ego. 5th lord indicates mantra. 9th lord indicates dharma. So the ego, not the ego, but mantra and dharma, they have the sobering effect. And this aspect has to be seen in this regard.
So are you saying if there is a relationship between Lagna Lord or Moon with 5th Lord and 9th Lord,
Yes, it has to be.
it will give a sobering effect on the individual.
See any successful life, in any successful married life, you will find the influence. Then another aspect is, if the moon is poor, then people do not bother about the small things.
Full moon.
Okay, yes,
Okay.
in case it is Shivana, then they are very unnecessarily touchy,
Hypersensitive.
hypersensitive.
Okay.
So the hypersensitivity can be controlled in case this moon is strong. And more so in case it is affected by the either 5th Lord or 9th Lord. Or in case Jupiter is in benefic position in Navansha.
Okay.
In case it is in benefic position in Navansha and governing the 5th and 9th, then it may also have a very sobering effect. But mind it, if 5th Lord or 9th Lord or Jupiter are in the Navansha of Shani, then I would not be very happy with it.
5th Lord or 9th Lord in the
5th
Navansha
Lord,
of
9th
Shani.
Lord in the Navansha of Saturn.
Okay.
For that being something, some sort of selfishness. And selfishness to the extent that it just keeps a person very cold, very selfish, and that creates a problem. Just see in case Venus is in that Navansha, particularly Saturn, or Mercury is also there.
Mercury in the Navansha of
In
Saturn.
the Navansha of Saturn.
Okay.
Or 5th Lord or 9th Lord are in Navansha of Saturn. Navansha of Mars and Saturn both are dangerous. One has to accept them with a pinch of salt.
Okay.
From my point of view, that is.
And what about Tula Lagna or Vrishab Lagna, where Saturn becomes a Yogkarak, either ruling the 5th or the 9th house?
That if so far the Vrishab Lagna is concerned, Saturn is Venus is 6th Lord.
Yes.
Very well. It's small Trikona sign. But Lagna, being Lagna has it also got a positive factor.
Yes.
So unless until Venus is affected adversely by two malefics,
Okay.
it may not give the bad result. But in case it is, then it will create problem. It may create problem from the side of younger sister-in-law, or from the side of younger brother-in-law. Then the nature would be, because it is Venus,
Yes.
so naturally it would be ladies. Maybe wife of the brother-in-law incites her. Maybe the husband of the younger sister-in-law incites her.
Okay.
But
The conflict is coming from
conflict is
Venus
coming.
being the Multrikon
Venus.
Rashi of
So because
sixth
Venus is
house.
there, so ladies are coming.
Yes.
Or maybe maternal aunt, maybe maternal relation.
Okay. Now going back to the question, so Saturn as a Yogkarak for Venus Lagnas,
Yes.
or Mars as a Yogkarak for Moon or Sun Lagnas.
Right.
Will they also create temperament
No.
issues for
Just
marital
see.
life?
If Mars is Yogkarak, then Mars would give initiative to the spouses.
Okay.
Would not harm.
Would not harm.
But this is the difference between Yogkarak and similarly Saturn is Yogkarak. Saturn may keep one reserve, but will not allow any person to remain confined to a particular place, not talking with any other person. May not be that social,
Yes.
but for all good things, he or she will become empowered.
Sir, I was also reading somewhere that Saturn alone, if it has influence on 7th house or 7th lord, because Saturn is Digbali in the 7th house and it is exalted there in the natural zodiac, will give a stabilizing effect on a relationship. Though it might create problems from the side of the spouse, but it will nonetheless, the native will be inclined to maintain a conservative attitude, maintain stability as long as it is possible to sustain.
My experience is not that very good.
And I'm speaking of
I'm
only
just-
Saturn, no other malefic.
I'm just
Yes.
supposing in one case I have seen a Kumbh Lagna. Singh Lagna. And Saturn is in its own sign. Naturally it is Digbadi and in its own
Own
sign.
sign,
also.
yes. Mutrikon sign.
I don't think that he had very clean character.
Okay. The native.
the native.
Okay.
Another aspect. But it is certain that though his wife is sickly, I think they must have been married 50 years ago.
So it did provide that glue. The marriage didn't,
I'm
socially
just-
it didn't break.
Didn't break. And one thing more.
Yeah.
I think when he was posted in West from his hometown,
Okay.
he had earned a lot.
Okay. That's interesting. So was it only Saturn that was influencing the 7th house?
The-
You spoke
and the-
about character of the person.
I don't remember exactly, but I may just tell you. Venus and Mercury are in 10th house in Taurus. The Jupiter is in 4th house. So that way, because in Kendras all the three benefics are there,
Yes.
so that might have helped.
Okay.
Another thing which I would just say, in case in the fourth and eighth, there are benefics from Karak or 7th Lord,
Yes.
then it is very helpful in marriage.
Yes.
And in case they are malefic, they reverse.
Yes.
The car moves in reverse gear.
Yes. So in this particular case, when you spoke about character, we have to see that Venus and Mercury are also together.
Yes,
In
and
this
Jupiter is
case.
also there.
And
So
Jupiter is
protect-
aggravating that
No,
combination.
actually, everything is remain under carpet.
Under carpet, yes.
So Jupiter has the propensity.
And Jupiter is a benefic.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So that is one aspect so far that is concerned.
So what about Lagna, Mercury Lagna marriages? People born with Mercury Lagna, Mithun or Virgo, Gemini or Virgo.
Just see, in case a person is born in Gemini, then there are three possibilities. One possibility is that he will not spare the wife even for a day.
Yes.
Second possibility is that in case Mercury is in spoil and Jupiter is also in spoil,
Okay.
then he may have extramarital relations. If they are, Jupiter is debilitated as well as aspected by other malefics, then there may be a problem. In the second case, there may not be problem in marriage, for everything is going with the permission of the spouse.
Which is the second case?
Where Mercury is afflicted,
Okay.
but not that much afflicted,
Okay.
and Jupiter is aspecting it.
Okay. Understood.
So he may have some extramarital relations, particularly when it is in the Navansha of Saturn, Rahu aspecting Nakshatra, Nakshatra of Rahu.
Yes.
then it may have.
Okay.
I do not remember exactly what about it. So that may have something, but in case it is in Punarvasu Nakshatra. Bharti has taken place in Punarvasu Nakshatra.
Yes.
Then it will be totally ideal. Maybe ideal marriage in case it is in the Nakshatra of Nakshira. Then also they may love each other. They may not go beyond. But in case it is Aridra, there may be problem which has been noticed.
We've just seen in that case. Yes.
So Nakshatras have got their own role in this regard.
So I know that years ago when I've studied from you, you've also spoken about Karak's association with Saturn and Rahu. So will you talk a little bit about Venus and its association with Saturn and just that association regardless of Lagna?
Rahu is a stranger. If Venus is associated with Rahu, then strangers do come in. The question is how far they are influencing Venus. If Rahu is close and in Nakshatra of Rahu, then it will have a lot of more influence. But in case it is Nakshatra Jupiter, then it will not have that kind of influence. In case it is in Nakshatra of Shani, then women of low class may come in.
Rahu being in Nakshatra of Shani?
Rahu may come, maybe coming from a very good family. Rahu may bring a person from a very good family, though a stranger.
Yes.
But in case Saturn is there, then they will be low class.
Okay.
Rahu will depend, Rahu is a variable. So it will vary according to circumstances. But Saturn is certainly low class. So low class association will be there.
Okay.
That is, and again it will depend on where it is taking place. If 7th Lord is in mean, then the Nadi principle applies that a person having 7th Lord in mean shall have a very good married life, ordinary case. But in one case I found an exception. One of your former classmate, Atul, had exalted Venus in 12th house. He had, parents were suffering, his wife was suffering, he was hand to mouth. And Venus was operating.
And Venus Mahadasha was operating.
Operating. Here lies the beauty of the Bhrighu charts.
Okay.
And the Bhrighu chart, in sustenance, it was found to be malefic sustenance.
Okay.
So then the moment he said, the only thing which I said told her that this question was asked by one of her classmates, a lady, but then how come it's, maybe just wait and see sustenance. And it was found.
Okay.
So here lies the value of the sustenance. Everything is apparently very good, but inherently one has to distinguish between apparent and inherent. So that sustenance may be seen with a caution. Caution is that in sustenance it is bad, but there are 2 or 3 benefits are aspecting it. Sustenance may have little effect. 8 planets were in sustenance, undesirable sustenance.
8 planets in malefic?
8 planets.
Okay.
In case my memory is not, but in Indian case not less than 7. And he had risen from a public prosecutor in a district to the Supreme Court. He was chairman of the Dispute Redressal Commission. He had he chaired 2 commissions in Gujarat. He is still commissioned in Delhi. So this is warning about sustenance. Don't jump to the conclusion that in case sustenance is bad, then it's everything.
So what can we conclude from this? 7 to 8 planets in a malefic Shashti answer, and still the person has risen.
Just see.
Though it's been from a grassroots level.
Just see. Supposing a person is on deathbed, right?
Yes.
But there is lifeline, an effective lifeline.
Okay.
If effective lifeline is there, supposing there is block in the artery, but there is some other artery has started working, some opening has been created, then that artery may remain blocked throughout life. It may not affect at all.
Okay. So there is some other factor which is influencing.
There must be some very strong antidote. In case the strong antidotes are there, then it may not affect.
So in this particular chart, were you able to trace some antidote?
I did not notice it to be very candid.
It would be interesting to study the nakshatras of this horoscope and see.
I think I can get it. It was with me, and in case in my record I get it back, ask him to give that chart, then it would be a different thing. So this is...
Sir, one more question. I'm veering you back to marriage. For Navanshas, some people of course will take the Navansh Lagna as the native's Lagna, 7th house as the spouse or the partner. But I've also seen in rare cases, there are very few people who will say Navansha means marriage chart, so the Lagna is the spouse. What is your view on and experience on this?
I would say Navansh Lagna indicates not only marriage but something much more. Navansh Lagna is the Lagna of the person concerned, as I take it. And I did not find any reason to change my view.
Okay.
In my experience, if the relations of the wife can be indicated by this Lagna, supposing I want to see whether I will be having a love and affection of my mother-in-law.
Then I should see 10th house or
then you will take 10th house or 4th house.
That is the question. I won't take the name, but a very prominent person, astrologer of Delhi, takes the Navansh Lagna as the spouse's Lagna.
See, the matter of what should be Navansh Lagna should be taken for our purposes, it is for the purpose of marriage as well as for other purposes. If we see from the point of marriage, it is Lagna of marital happiness.
Okay.
And in case I am supposed to get marital happiness, then I am finding the younger brother-in-law or younger sister-in-law through 9th house. In one case, the marriage was supposed to take place between son and daughter of both of my colleagues. The bride was not supposed to have love and affection of father-in-law. The father of the boy was alive. I said, no, this marriage cannot take place for his father. But he was suffering from cancer. After 9 months or 8 months, father recovered. भाई साहब बताइए, आने का देखिए अभी कितने दिन भरे में थोड़ा तो शांति रहो, उसके बाद बात करना ना क्योंकि आपको कंडीशन फुलफिल हो गई. I saw it from 3rd house.
Okay, father-in-law.
Father-in-law, from the chart of the girl. If it comes from 3rd house, and her mother-in-law is my colleague. If it comes from her chart, then I don't think that I should have changed my views.
Right.
Again,
So let's also talk about, and this is a very common question one hears today because of the social fabric of today's civilization and how we're moving. How do we differentiate between social marriages which are contracted through 7th house and live-in relationships which are also open live-in relationships? So they're socially known, accepted relationships.
the question is, Jupiter is the elder in the family.
Okay.
Ninth Lord is also indicates so. If Ninth Lord and Jupiter don't bless that relationship,
Okay.
then it may be living in a relationship.
Okay.
In case they bless, then the marriage may take place, even against the wishes of parent, but parents bless them.
Okay.
In the case of a daughter of a doctor here, Dr. Jan, the parents did not bless him, but the marriage was ceremonialized
Okay.
in an ordinary way. So parents of the girl side blessed them, but not the father.
Okay.
I would, it may be a chart may be required to be reconsidered and revisited instead of forming any opinion on that basis. So basically it appears that there has to be some blessings of address or a marriage which is approved by parents, maybe one of the parents.
Okay. And of course the primary houses will be 2nd house and 7th house for marriage.
Second.
For live-in relationships, which would you consider as the primary houses?
I would consider 7th house, but there the predominance of 8th house would be there.
Okay.
The 8th house, why I am talking of 8th house? 8th house take one down to the drain. Living a relationship in case see in this light, then one may agree it is not so socially approved. So 8th house may have something to do.
Okay. So how Deshkal Patra, if we consider that, how do we, so there is social approval in Western civilizations, for example, for live-in relationships. There isn't in our cultures, in Eastern cultures, it is not socially approved. What would be the differentiating parameters in those cases?
Right, a very good question that way. The question is whether this is a spiritual relationship or just a physical relationship.
Okay.
Or emotional, physical, spiritual. Even in a spiritual case, it need not be approved.
Right.
But there has to be something preponderance of benefic influence. If there is preponderance of benefic influence, then it will not be approved today, it will be approved tomorrow.
Right. But it's a genuine relationship with each other rather than a relationship by convenience.
In case that is not there, then living relationship is for few days, not for long term.
Okay.
But in case that is there, the predominant influence of benefics are there, despite influence of 8th Lord, then one can say that it is likely that this living in relationship will not continue.
Okay.
And you are finding it there also and here also.
And what will be the role of 8th Lord as Mangalya Lord for women?
Oh, yes.
Then how do we differentiate the
Yes,
two
sir.
cases?
The 8th Lord is Mangalya for women, right? it is helpful in marriage, for it indicates her tongue,
Yes.
her possessions. If that is strong, that may be very good. And that may give money also to the husband,
Okay.
subject to one thing, that there should be again preponderance of monetary planets,
Right.
and they should be benefic.
Okay.
So 8th Lord in itself is not bad. All planets are virtually just like balls put on a plate, and they tilt. The moment you tilt the plate, they will tilt and move on this side or that side.
Right, that's a good metaphor. So are we saying then if the 8th Lord is strong, it will give propensity towards a social relationship, whereas if it's weak
No,
and it is
it
involved...
will give longevity to the marriage.
Right.
It may give longevity to the marriage. If it is preponderantly influenced by benefits.
Okay.
But in case it is malefic, then in case it is malefic, supposing Mars is in 8th house, Rahu is also there, then it will be different. And in case Saturn is also there, then we should pray the Lord.
Right. Okay.
But supposing Saturn is Karak, in Makar Lagna, Mars is not a Karak, apparently. But Mars is exalted in Makar, so it may be helpful. Similarly, a planet which is exalted in any sign,
Right.
in Lagna, may not be harming to that extent.
Okay.
Then, so far Mars is concerned, in Kate it is Ashwani.
In Ashwini Nakshatra.
Ashwani.
Okay.
In case it is Bhargavottam, in case it is Anuradha and Dhanishta, it will benefit.
Achha, Mars in Anuradha will be, because it's in its own Rashi and
Right.
plus Anuradha Nakshatra.
Anuradha Nakshatra is Saturn's nakshatra.
Yes.
But it is said to be benefic. It comes as Rajayoga also.
Anuradha Nakshatra.
Anuradha Nakshatra. This is Saravali.
Okay.
I think it is 53rd chapter. It is provided, and same is.
So is that also benefit for a marital relationship or
Just see, in case it is Kaling Raju. In case it is Kaling Raju, it may give sharpness, but may not spoil marriage.
Okay.
Just see, a positive Mars gives leadership, gives sharpness, but also gives the stability. And in case it has to, supposing the wife's moon is in these nakshatras, along with Mars, then mine may bring good luck to her, to the spouse.
Wife's moon is in which nakshatras? Anuradha.
Anuradha,
Ashwini.
Ashwani,
Okay.
and Dhanishta are exalted in Makar. So the Nadi principle is that whenever a planet goes to the exaltation points of another planet, or nakshatras of this kind, it is benefited despite conflict. For Mars and Moon are conflict.
Yes.
One is, there is Tattva Viparita in both of them, but they somehow the other adjust. Like water which is required to be boiled
Okay.
and needed for cooking.
So it has a counterbalancing effect.
Yes, it has to be counterbalancing effect. Every layer of maleficence or beneficence will have its own effect, either on benefic side or malefic side. If there are 3 or more malefic effects, it is likely to be spoiled. In case there are 3 benefic effects, then it is likely to enhance the value, may not create problem.
Okay.
And supposing a wife needs that her husband should lead, like wife of this Modi. So that may be a reason. That may be reason when it is benefit for her. It is benefit for her that her husband has become Prime Minister.
Right.
And it is not benefit for him. It is required to be seen in his chart. How far it's correct.
Right.
That is another glaring example of that it is required to be seen. If the moon is in nakshatras of Mars or in nakshatra of Venus, nakshatra of Sun, Sun has also separating effect. So these are required to be seen and examined. One should not go just say
Yes.
that because it is a nakshatra of Mars, it is probably going to cause conflict. Let's see, my Mars is in nakshatra of Mars is Agni, 5th house is Agni. It is the nakshatra of Rohini Chandra. So there is Tattva Vipare. But I was married in 1966. 48 years have passed and then. So it is not always that the Tattva Vipare will have. It is required to be seen. In my case also Mars is Vargottam. Moon is Vargottam, Venus is Vargottam.
Yes.
So these counterbalancing effects are required
Have to be seen. Yes. Should we also talk a little bit about compatibility? Though there are divergent views. Should it be seen? Should it not be seen? First of all, considering somebody has.
I would just say, it is a human effort to find the best spouse for his child. To that extent, it is justified. But if there is Rinagabandhan prevails, if it can be said that whether a person would have the love and affection of father-in-law and mother-in-law or not, if one would have younger brother-in-law or younger sister-in-law or not, whether he would have maternal uncle, his spouse would have maternal uncle, maternal aunt or not, and they are seen from now on, then is it not a wishful thinking?
Yeah.
But human effort must be made.
Yes.
One must not deny human effort. There is another aspect. How many persons have got their birth charts throughout the world?
Or if they have, what is the accuracy?
Yes, what is the accuracy? So hardly 5%. Hardly 5%.
Yes.
If 5% people are just trying to match, even then marriages like Ram and Sita takes place. Then what has happened to the human effort?
Yes.
What has happened to human effort?
Absolutely.
So one is inclined to have that the person has the will, the power, and he can modify. But now I feel that a man does not have that kind of freedom as he feels.